So you got your new GM truck and the thing shakes. Well, let's talk about that. Hey everybody, welcome back to the garage, and today we're talking about the Chevy Shake as it's been named. You know, this is something that's been around for probably 15-20 years. It's been more predominant in the latest generations, the 2014 and on, and there's a good chance that you probably came over here from my body mount swap that I did, and I'll post a link up in the corner where I went through and I bought the engineered body mounts that GM says supposedly helps resolve this issue. Now, the tech bulletin that leads or spawned all of this says that there is a vibration that starts in the front driver's side, travels through the steering rack, and then resonates through the body or the frame of the truck. And they call it frame beaming. There's a couple different camps of thought or schools of thought on this, and one of them is that frame beaming can't be solved. It is a engineered issue that GM chooses to ignore. The other one is that is an excuse that all the armchair quarterbacks on the internet like to use instead of actually going out there and solving the problems. Well, I'm here to tell you I flounder in between both camps. Sometimes I think, well, it could be some frame beaming issues. The other time I think is, well, there's not very many people that's tried to solve these problems, or people find individual solutions that don't really apply because maybe their solution is mistaken as Chevy Shake. The issue with that is that there's not been a silver bullet that has done away with this issue. And so that it's hard to pinpoint what the cause of a solution is if nobody, or what the solution is if nobody knows what the cause of the problem is. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run you through everything that I've done in my quest to solve this issue, and then we'll talk about some other things that might potentially be solutions. But before we get into that, I want you to know this is my third Silverado. I've had multiple Chevy trucks. I've had Sierras, I've had Silverados, I've had Tahoes. I've had a 2014 crew cab, a 2015 crew cab, and this is a 2015 regular cab. This is the only truck I've ever had issues with. This is the only GM platform vehicle that I have experienced the Shake on. And a little bit more about the Shake. If you don't know what it is yet, or you are considering looking at a GM truck and you want a good bit of information before you go out and test drive or look at one, generally this vibration presents itself in the 65 to 75 mile an hour range. And it fluctuates a little bit based on gearing and things like that. But it is a 14 hertz or around there rotational vibration that seems to indicate that it would be a tire being out of balance or something along those lines. It would be what we call from the pinion out. So it'd either be the tires in the front or maybe a brake caliper if you had one out of balance, or in the rear it could be axles, could be the carrier, could be ring and pinion, could be once again the brake calipers, could be wheels and tires, things like that. So anything upstream, as it were, up the drive line from the ring and pinion forward I should say, is probably going to have a different frequency than the Chevy Shake. That's something to keep in mind. And that's why a lot of people seem to get some relief by doing road force balancing. But let me go ahead and explain to you real quick what all I've tried in order to solve this issue. The big thing first, 3 different sets of wheels and tires. 3. And on each set of wheels and tires, I have balanced the wheels and tires at least twice, minimum of twice. No luck. I've done an alignment, didn't think that would fix anything, but I did one anyways, paid somebody to do a laser alignment on it. That's not the issue. After that, I did all 4 brake rotors to make sure that they were all good in balance. I've done run-out checks on every single rotational piece to make sure that the run-out was in spec. It is. I have replaced the axles in the rear, and still, once again, on the new axles, run-out checks, still good. I have replaced the carrier. On top of replacing the carrier, I have put in 3 different ring and pinion sets on here. And some of that is because I've ran different gear ratios because I like to hot rod my truck around. I have tried both the factory drive shaft and an aftermarket aluminum shaft, race shaft that was built specifically for my truck. You know, that's kind of the driveline stuff. I haven't done anything from the transmission on. That's on the short list. Transmission, not necessarily going back in with the 6L80, but looking at possibly going in with a Power Glide or a Turbo 400, which would then replace the flex plate and the torque converter. But on that note, some people have had torque converter swaps fix this issue. I have gone in through tuning software and tried locking and unlocking the torque converter in that speed area that causes the issue. That has not helped. I don't know that that would help if the converter is what was causing this issue. On top of that, I've tried, let's see here, I've tried the leaf spring clamps. I don't know why anybody thought that would ever work. It did not work. Did not, you know, if anything, it made the thing ride worse and the vibration worse. And then to this point in time, I'm on my third set of struts on the front. And in fact, now I've got QA1 double adjustable coilovers up there. The thing rides like a Cadillac. I am on my fourth set of, you know, springs and struts in the rear, to the point where I'm running double adjustable QA1 coilovers in the rear now because I don't even have leaf springs. I've swapped over to a fully adjustable 4-link drag suspension in the back end. It is still there. Whenever I poked a hole in the gas tank, I went back in with the fuel cell and mounted it behind the rear axle in an attempt to get some weight over the rear axle, because people said, oh, if you throw bags of sand in the back of your truck, it goes away. No, trust me, I've put hundreds of pounds of sand in the back of this truck. Salt, sand, whatever you want to call it, that does not solve this issue. So at this point in time, what have I not done? I don't know. You tell me. If you've tried something that I have not tried, let me know. Win or lose. If it worked, let me know. If it didn't work, let me know. If supposedly you've done something and it worked and I've not tried it at least twice, I will try it again. I do not care. You know, I want to find a solution to this. And if that means I have to end up pulling the cab and the bed off this thing and welding, you know, braces, X-braces on the frame to finally solve that this is a frame beaming issue, I will eventually do that. I promise you, because I don't have anything better to do with my time. But I think that there is a more simple solution out there. That being said, I don't think it's going to be a solution for everybody, given some of the things other people have tried. I know that there are people out there that have tried and found solutions that have not been a universal solution to this problem. So the idea that somebody's going to find a silver bullet that works for all of these vehicles, well, it's not going to happen. If that were to happen, GM would have done it already, and they would have rolled out a fix, because I know that GM's taken a hickey on this over the years, especially on this generation of pickup trucks. That all being said, if you are looking at buying a truck, as I said, I've had 3 of this model. 2 of them were perfect. If you drive that thing, if you go and test drive one of these trucks and you get it up to that 65 to 75 mile an hour range, you will know if it has a Chevy Shake. Doesn't seem to matter what kind of road surface it's on. You know, if you're going uphill, downhill, any of that stuff, if you're under load, coasting, this vibration comes and goes, and doesn't ever seem to be something that is consistent. It may happen a lot, but it may just go away for half a mile and then come back for 3 miles, then go away for 2 or 3 miles, then come back for half a mile. There's not a lot of consistency on how people report this thing. If you are buying, or you have already bought a truck and it's new, start the warranty process. They're going to throw the picoscope on there, keep on pushing the service manager to get this thing investigated and make sure they fix it. If they don't, limit it. That's all I can say about that. You've got to stay on top of them. I'm sorry that you're at this point. I wish that you weren't, because it is a pain, and I hate that you're having to go through it. But stay strong and stick to your guns, and you will get this problem solved. If you bought a used vehicle, well, sorry. You know, it kind of is what it is. Try to make the best of it. Make sure that you've done a road force balance on it. And get the printout. Make sure that you get the printout on the wheels and tires. See if one's even close, because a lot of times you go to some of these places and they do a balance on there and everything is within spec. Within spec is the issue here. What we consider within spec is not vibrating whenever we're going down a smooth section of highway at 70 miles an hour. Within spec, what it is on the different machines that they're using to try and calibrate this stuff is completely different, and it doesn't translate properly. But that's about it. You know, just some information thrown at you. I want to thank you guys for stopping by and listening, and for all the traction and feedback that I've gotten on my other video out there about the body mounts. And if you have any more questions or ideas or solutions, you know, make sure and hit up the comments down below for me. Hit up subscribe. because I've got a lot more content coming out specifically on the GM platform trucks, so it might be some stuff you don't want to miss out on. And if you got the time, jump over and check out my tuning section where I talk about how to tune using HP tuners. I have, do-it-yourself guides out there and things like that. But, thumbs up if you like this video, and I appreciate you spending the time to come out and hang out in the garage today.